don't understand Ellis versus Marks. I mean, the man clearly embezzled the money. Why wasn't he held for theft?
Rose, you don't get the history of the law of theft.
You're telling me.
Look, theft required is one of its elements that you take the property from someone else. The embezzler couldn't take what he already had because it had been entrusted to him.
That seems crazy.
Wait till you get to larceny by trick.
One of you are Rose Samuels.
Only one of us.
You are Rose Samuels.
I am.
You have just won the Reader's Digest Publishing House Clearance Sweepstakes.
You have 30 days to answer. You may wish to seek the advice of an attorney or otherwise respond.
Oh, God.
What's the matter?
Arnie is suing me for divorce. Arnie, what does this mean?
Rose, have you read it?
I know what it says. What does it mean?
It's time, Rose.
Oh, Arnie. 8 months apart is enough time to know that 25 years together don't count?
The best thing for both of us.
And couldn't you wait until semester break or something?
Rose,
What?
we want to get married again.
What, to that?
Don't say it.
Arnie, don't do it, please.
Look, I'll be fair about this. I'll pay for your tuition, all of your expenses until you go into practice.
I never heard of a good one. Arnie, you promised we were going to give this separation more of a chance.
Speed it up, will you, Rose? Other people need to use the phone.
Just a minute. This is no place to be when your damn life's falling apart.
You'll be fine. You always land on your feet.
Yeah, you hope I will so you won't feel so guilty. Well, I guess I better just start to deal with this so you can begin your new life.
I didn't expect you to take this so hard.
What then, Arnie? You want me to give you my blessing? Huh? What should I do? Chalk up a lifetime and 3 kids to just one of those things, huh? My God, Arnie.
I'm not doing this to hurt you.
Why does it hurt so much?
A man is charged with murder. He pays an attorney a flat fee of $6,500 to represent him. But before the trial, the client commits suicide. The administrators of his estate claim that the lawyer is only owed $2,500 because he has done no work. The lawyer maintains that it is not his fault that his client committed suicide and seeks full payment. Who is correct, Mrs. Samuels?
Well, it really seems unfair.
What does?
Well, what's happening? I mean, who's to say?
The court is to say, and in this class you are to say.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Be prepared. Mr. Carter?
Normally, the attorney would be paid expectation damages.
Hey, Rose? Come on, we're going to Ernie's. Yeah, I'll buy you a drink.
Oh, no, thanks.
Oh, come on. Yeah, you could use a little R&R.
Maybe some other time. Thanks, guys, really.
Take care.
Rose? There's a phone call for you.
It's your daughter for the third time.
Not now, Belle. Just not now.
Rose, come on.
She still won't come out?
I did my best.
She's been locked in there for 2 days. Rose? It's Laura. Can I come in? Rose, please let me in.
I'm not very good company.
I didn't come here to be entertained. I'm worried about you.
Well, just tell everybody Rose Samuels is alive and well and living.
Somewhere else.
Honey, I'm sorry to be such a drag. But I really just need some time.
Rose, time is just what you don't have. You're a 1L. You're a 1L who's going
Don't
through...
say it. Please.
Then you say it. Somebody's got to say it.
You know, someone walks out the door. You say, it's over. But you don't get off that easily. I feel like I have to get through every one of those 25 years again before it's really over. You know what I mean? I can still see how he looks in his old corduroy pants. And I remember the smell of this one sweater. Things like that. When does it stop?
You were doing just fine without him. You are in great shape.
Well, if you think the word separated sounds unpleasant, try divorce.
Rose, you can't just hang on to something when it's not there.
I know. I know.
So what are you going to do?
Oh, I just hate having no choice. I feel like this is all up to Arnie.
Then you take control. You get yourself a lawyer. Get on with this, Rose.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Rose, how are you?
I've been better.
Well, here you are in law school. My God, we might be facing each other in court one of these days.
Ben, I need representation. I don't know the first thing about divorce.
Well, by the time you're through, you'll be an expert. Everyone is, unfortunately.
So what do we do? Where do I start?
Now, you've spoken with Arnie.
I spoke to him. He says he'll be fair. Oh, God, I hate this.
Oh, it's not that complicated. You and Arnie have certain shared properties. They're divided up.
You make it all sound so matter of fact.
I don't mean to. Rose, you and I have been friends for how many years?
A long time, Ben. Long enough to see our children go through braces, adolescence.
Rose, I have the name of a young, very bright attorney who works for a firm in my building.
What do you mean?
Rose, I can't represent you. I'm too close.
But, Ben, I need someone who knows me, who knows Arnie. I don't want this thing to get ugly.
Rose, Arnie and I, we still play handball every Wednesday. We see each other socially.
You and Evelyn see Arnie and his girlfriend?
It's no reflection on you. Arnie and I
So your allegiance is to him?
don't want to take sides. Really, it's better if you put yourself in the hands of a neutral party.
So I can conclude from this that our mutual friend and counsel is not community property.
Try and understand.
I do. I really do. I'm busy.
You must be if you wouldn't take my phone calls.
Hi, honey.
Hi, Mom.
Oh. This is so terrific. I mean, look at you. You look wonderful. Your hair, everything.
Why didn't you tell me what's going on?
Because I didn't want to upset you.
You shouldn't go through this alone.
Honey, this is between your daddy and me. Sit down.
You're always trying to protect us. Never give us the bad news. Pretend nobody's unhappy, nobody dies. You want to make the world a nice place, but it's not. I know that. Mom, I want to help. Will you let me?
Want to buy a starving law student dinner? When your daddy and I got married, it was forever. You see, we believed in forever then. You can understand that concept, honey.
Has this been hard?
Oh, it's been awful. When we were kids, we grew up together. Even if I found somebody and fell in love again, it would never be the same. 25 years together, how do you say goodbye?
So many relationships end up a mess.
Wow, honey. You can't look at statistics when it comes to love. You gotta take a chance, you gotta risk it.
But look at you and Daddy. I mean, something so solid and traditional as that, and it fell apart.
I know, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't change what we had. I wouldn't want to live without knowing somebody so intimately. And Ginny, honey, that's what I want for you. Eventually, when the time is right, you'll meet somebody, and you'll love him, and you'll open your heart completely.
You're amazing.
Am I?
How come I didn't know that when I was an adolescent?
Because adolescents are temporarily insane.
I love you.
Oh, honey, I love you. No, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Damn.
What's wrong?
I just spoke to a lawyer, a divorce lawyer, whose fee is more than the cost of my entire legal education.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
What's ridiculous?
Some fancy divorce lawyer wants to charge Rose an arm and a leg to represent her.
For what? Filing a few forms with the court and sending out an interrogatory or two? You could practically do it yourself.
It would be easier to do it yourself.
That's not a bad idea.
What, me handle my own divorce?
Sure.
Oh, no way.
Rose, you're underestimating yourself.
This is absurd. This is insanity.
You're surrounded by law students, Rose. We could work as a team.
Right.
What am I missing?
Nobody has the time
So what
anyway.
else is new?
Rose's lawyer asked for half of her first 3 years' salary as his fee, so she's gonna represent herself.
She crazy?
We'll need a better place to work than the dorm.
Right, and I bet we could get all the necessary paperwork from the courthouse.
Right, and everything else we need, we'll get at the library.
Hold it. I really appreciate what all you people are trying to do, but I think I'm a little over my head. So, I'll see you later, huh?
Any room in the inn?
Oh, just move my stuff over. How you doing, Viv?
All right. How's it going with Big D?
It's not.
You haven't found an attorney yet?
I called 9 divorce lawyers. 3 of them didn't call me back. 2 of them wanted to charge me more than Mrs. Getty could afford. The other 2 were going to take Arnie to the cleaners. And the rest of them, I mean, they didn't even remember my name. To them, I'm just another statistic.
Hey, Rose.
Hey, Tom.
I was just talking to Hart,
Uh-huh.
and he says it's okay to use the apartment to make phone calls if you want.
Oh, thanks. That's great.
So, what's your next move?
I don't know. I've been reading up on divorce law, and an uncontested divorce just doesn't seem that complicated.
Look, it's simple. If you shoot a lamppost and you think it's your wife's lover, they can't touch you. But if you shoot your wife's lover and you think he's a lamppost, then all 3 of you are in big trouble.
Look, this is probably the craziest thing I've ever attempted in my entire life. But I think I'm gonna handle it myself.
Oh, right, bro. That's great. Divorce headquarters, Ford speaking. 1 minute.
Do you have to answer that way?
It'll be okay, Ford. Really, you won't even know we're here.
Hello. Oh, hi, Nancy. No, I'm not married. Of course I haven't lied to you.
Rose, have you looked over Arnie's statement for community property?
I haven't had a chance. This doesn't seem right.
Let me look at this.
I thought we had
What's his
more.
medical practice valued at?
Medical practice?
Yeah, it's part of your shared wealth.
These figures are pretty low. I thought dermatologists raked it in. Sorry, Rose.
Call Arnie and ask to see his books.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
Now.
May I speak with Dr. Samuels, please? It's his wife, Bimbo. Hello, Arnie. No, everything's fine. I just, I need to see your books, Arnie. Yeah, well, I got your statements in the mail, and I just want to go over everything, that's all. No, Arnie, I don't think I'm being unreasonable. I really don't. He said no, and then he hung up on me.
You have to send a notice to his lawyer to produce the books. He's got to comply with that, Rose.
All right.
Rose, wake up. It's important.
3 o'clock. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Come here, Rose. Look at this.
Well, it's not gonna help. I can't make any sense out of figures.
Well, your husband's not very good at it either.
What do you mean?
I've been looking through the real estate ads,
Yeah?
and houses comparable to yours are going for thousands of dollars more than he says it's worth.
Well, how can that be? We added a finished basement. We completely redid the kitchen.
Yeah, well, I don't think he included them when he was pricing the house.
Well, why would he do something like this?
Don't get ticked off at me for saying this, okay, Rose? But the guy's not exactly a saint. I mean, he ran off with a younger woman, didn't he?
That's something else. This is... I don't know. This feels like another betrayal.
Rose, you're gonna have to square off and face him. You can't accept his settlement offer. The guy's cheating you.
So what now? I take him on at a deposition?
That's right, and we set a date. Good.
Rose, are you going to study or prepare your case?
I'm doing both.
Okay. I got a hold of this medical journal. There is a dermatology practice going for auction for a lot more money than your husband says his is worth.
Well, but according to Arnie's books, his practice is declining.
What we need is somebody to sit in the waiting room and count patients.
Oh, no. I have an allergic reaction to sick people and piped-in music.
Well, look, Arnie will give you some cream. It'll clear up any rash you should develop.
I don't know.
Please, Soloway, we need you. Just think of yourself as Dan Rather.
Well, in the spirit of investigative reporting, and because I despise the medical profession, I will be your undercover man.
Great.
What are my symptoms?
Be creative.
Oh, I wish I could figure out what all this is really worth.
All what?
Arnie's equipment, look. He bought $100,000 worth of equipment last year, and yet he says it's only worth $33,000. I mean, that's a big loss.
Well, the government allows you to accelerate depreciation.
Yeah, but it's still a drop of almost $70,000. Our marriage was losing money.
Next time, we shall be discussing one of the most complex areas of contract law, the statute of frauds. And in order to facilitate your understanding, I have decided to assign a paper. 2 weeks from today, I shall expect 10 pages from each of you on the English statute and written contracts to sell land.
Great timing, huh?
Yeah.
I just can't do it, Tom.
Rose, you did give us 2 weeks.
I know, but 2 weeks is not enough time for me to learn divorce law and contracts.
Maybe I could help you.
Tom, you've done so much for me already. I'm just gonna have to handle it.
Yes?
I'm Tom Ford.
Yes, Mr. Ford?
I would like to see Professor Kingsfield, if that's possible.
Regarding what?
It's personal.
Professor Kingsfield is about to leave for the day.
Couldn't you buzz him, please?
Professor Kingsfield, a Tom Ford is here and wishes to speak to you. He says it's personal. Yes, sir. I'll tell him. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Ford?
Well, sir, it's about Rose Samuels. Rose Samuels is a first-year student in your contract lines.
I know.
Well, sir, she's very special. I mean, she's got 3 grown children, and she's gone back to school, and now she's going through a divorce.
What does that have to do with the study of the law, Mr. Ford?
It's about the paper you just assigned. She's handling her own case. I was wondering if you would consider giving her an extension.
Absolutely not, Mr. Ford.
But, sir, she's desperately trying to understand all the intricacies of divorce law, community property, setting the value of a medical practice. There's no way she'll be able to turn in the paper before the hearing.
If Mrs. Samuels has chosen to represent herself, she must accept the consequences of her actions.
But, sir, she didn't really have a choice. If you would just reconsider.
Mr. Ford, while I sympathize with Mrs. Samuels' personal problems and misfortune, I simply cannot make an exception. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Your 3 minutes are up, Mr. Ford.
Come here often?
Mr. Soloway. Have you filled out those new patient forms yet?
Not yet. I want to be very thorough here. I can't remember the exact date that I had the chicken pox.
An approximate date will do. Why don't you let me have those?
Oh, well, why don't you just let me go over them one more time, all right?
Please, Mr. Soloway.
No, wait, no, I just...
Mr. Soloway, when would you like to make your appointment?
I have exams. I'll call.
Mm-hmm. Miss Small, doctor will see you now.
Market analysis. Census? I think I'm done. Carpet wear testing? No.
There's a light on.
Good.
Maybe she sleeps with the light on.
Just a minute.
Hi.
Hi.
We couldn't sleep.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, your timing's perfect. I was just about to get sentimental. Oh, I was going through some old snapshots.
Uh-oh, this could be dangerous.
We were so young. We were happy. To me, he looked like Rock Hudson. Doesn't anything have a happy ending anymore?
You fall in love and you think this is it. Only it isn't. So you tell yourself no more men. You'll concentrate on your career. You'll make yourself the best you can be for yourself. But something's missing. And then you meet another man, and you say, this time it's going to be different. And it is different in the beginning, because it's always different in the beginning.
Relationships really stink.
Isn't it the truth?
It is.
He breaks your heart. He destroys your life. He takes your house. He cheats you of your money. And what do you want more than anything else in the whole world?
Another man.
And now, gentlemen and ladies, we come to one of the most basic doctrines in common law. Certain contracts, to be enforceable, must be reduced to writing.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Mr. Ford?
I have a question about value.
What does the concept of value have to do with the statute of frauds, Mr. Ford?
Well, it seems difficult to talk about a piece of property unless we know how much it's worth. For instance, if it had been depreciated for tax purposes, would you use the market value or the depreciated value?
In this class, we are talking about market value.
I don't understand.
Mr. Ford, take the example of a physician who buys a CAT scanner for his practice. It's true that as a businessman, he's allowed to depreciate the asset and report it at a lower value. But that is for tax purposes only.
But why can't you use the depreciated value for other purposes? If it's good enough for the IRS, why not?
Because, Mr. Ford, depreciation is meant to encourage business investments, not to undervalue market worth of goods.
I see. Thank you, sir.
Does that clear it up for you, too, Mrs. Samuels?
It certainly does, sir.
Good. Then, let's return to the subject at hand, and not something that belongs more appropriately in torts class.
Rose, we've got to get more organized.
Frank, you've always been an anal retentive.
No, now listen, we need to get a line of questioning going. Well, what's your game plan?
I don't have one.
Well, what are you going to ask him?
Arnie, why are you doing this to me? Like that?
You're a real pro, Rose.
I have an idea.
No, if it involves masquerading as a grown man with skin disorders, count me out.
We need a dress rehearsal.
That's right.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Now, what is it that you're trying to determine here, Rose?
The actual value of our property, which Arnie says is one thing and I say is another.
That's good. That's right. Now, how are you going to get him to admit that his figures are wrong?
Well, we have evidence thanks to little investigator Soloway.
But you have to lead up to it. You have to get him into a position where he's going to contradict himself.
Rose, you have to develop questions that aren't too general.
Just pretend you're at the hearing and you're cross-examining Arnie. Start at the beginning.
Dr. Samuels, what is your estimate of the value of your practice?
Objection. Vague and ambiguous.
Yeah, you have to take the elements of value and break them down.
Right.
How many patients did you see last year?
Objection. Mrs. Samuels, what do you mean by see?
Oh, come on.
Listen, you might get a bastard like that.
That's right, Rose.
Okay. Dr. Samuels, how many office patient visits did you have last year?
Yes. All right. You got it now.
I don't got it. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
Fine. That's exactly right. That's exactly what you have to do. Just keep going. That's fine.
Just have confidence.
Dr. Samuels, how long have you been practicing medicine? Hey guys, I think I should practice alone for a little while. And I feel like I'm having a baby, and I have to do this alone.
No.
Why don't we go to Ernie's and get something to eat and let her practice by herself?
That's good. Listen, will you join us when you're ready?
I promise.
All right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Save your seat.
All right.
You're a champ, Rose.
Okay.
Hang tough.
Thanks.
Ernie's.
Have a good time, and I'll see you guys later. All right. All right. I love you.
I love you.
Thanks.
Are you all right, Rose?
I can't breathe, but otherwise I'm...
Rose, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Oh, my God. There he is.
That's Arnie. The man who swept you off your feet? That's Rock Hudson?
That's him.
Just remember, he left you, not the other way around.
Hello, Rose.
Hello, Arnie.
You look wonderful.
Thank you.
That color is fabulous on you.
Thanks.
Time to go in, Arnie. Excuse us.
Dr. Samuels, you're a dermatologist, is that true?
It's correct.
Do you have any areas of specialty beyond that?
You know I don't.
Are you in private practice?
Yes.
We appreciate the simple questions, Mrs. Samuels, but would you please get to the point, if you have one?
Doctor, do you have an office?
How would I practice if I didn't?
Just answer a simple yes or no, please.
Yes.
Thank you. What equipment did you purchase for your practice last year?
3 ultraviolet boxes and a laser machine.
What is the cost of that equipment, and how long does it last?
You're asking a compound question.
About 10 years, and obviously you know the cost.
Then why do your books show you as having depreciated this equipment in 3 years?
That's permitted by the tax laws.
Dr. Samuels, is it your view that tax law write-offs actually reflect the true cost and value of this equipment?
Just a minute. You're asking a doctor to give you a legal conclusion.
Look, I'm not asking him to interpret the law. What I'm trying to say is, the question is, what would the equipment be worth if you tried to sell it today?
I have no idea.
The worth of this equipment is $70,000, and you have stated here that it's $30,000.
Counsel, the witness is giving testimony, not you. Now, he's already said that he didn't know what it cost. Now, please stop badgering my client and proceed to another line of questioning.
Doctor. There's an item on the books regarding a $20,000 expense for transportation.
That is for my car, which is owned by the practice.
What kind of a car do you have?
A Porsche 928.
Do you feel a Porsche 928 is necessary for clearing up acne?
Objection. That's an argumentative question. Now, I'm instructing my client not to answer.
You haven't allowed him to answer anything.
Please phrase all your questions in the proper manner. That's all.
Dr. Samuels, would you look at this check dated April 21st, 1984, made out to the Ritz-Carlton, and could you please explain the nature of that expense?
Let me see. It was a medical convention.
Did you go alone?
Is that pertinent?
And this check made out to a hotel in Greece. What is the nature of that expenditure?
I went to Greece.
Yes, Arnie. You made 5 trips last year. Was that to, talk skin disorders or lie in the sun?
Objection, Mrs. Samuels. Objection.
Damn it.
Could we have a 10-minute break, please?
I thought you were just here in an advisory capacity.
I request a brief adjournment.
Fine. Fine with us. Though adjournment is, technically speaking, incorrect. This is a recess.
Why don't you just take your technically speaking and shove it?
Laura.
Don't worry about it. You got it out of your system. Now you can go back in there and really get tough.
I'm not so sure I can. I just look at him and everything comes flooding back.
You got to detach yourself from him. Make believe you're questioning a stranger.
Dr. Samuels, how many patients do you see on a particular day?
Objection. That's vague and without foundation.
I'll rephrase. How many patients did you see last Wednesday, the 21st?
The question is without sufficient foundation because it hasn't been established that the doctor knows how many patients come and go on any particular day.
I'll rephrase. Doctor, are you familiar with the number of patients that come to your office?
I guess I can estimate it.
Would you do that, please?
About 25 patients a day.
Are you certain?
Yes.
Was this Wednesday, the 21st, a typical day for you and your practice?
Yes.
Let the reporter mark this letter signed by Eugene Soloway, which states that on Wednesday, the 21st of this month, while I sat in Dr. Arnold Samuels' medical practice, I counted 68 patients entering and leaving his office between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3:10 p.m. Do you have any information that would suggest that Mr. Soloway's estimate of your patient load last Wednesday was incorrect and that yours was correct?
Objection.
On what ground?
Well, the witness has already answered.
Let's go to court and see about that, counsel.
I don't think that'll be necessary.
Oh, I'd love to get sanctions against you. May I repeat my question? Do you have any information that would suggest that Mr. Soloway's estimation of your patient load last Wednesday was incorrect and yours was correct?
My client has expressed the desire to discontinue these proceedings, and he's instructed me to offer you a substantially revised settlement.
I never meant for it to go this way, Rose. Believe me.
Of course, if you accept this figure, there'll be no need to go to trial.
I accept.
Come on, my arm.
And of course,
Hart, you should have seen her. She really pulled it off.
I wish I could have.
I'd like to propose a toast to the dissolution of divorce headquarters. And to the return of my telephone.
And Rose Samuels is going to make one heck of a lawyer.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you ever think about specializing in divorce law?
Don't scratch it, Soloway. It won't heal.
I told you I was allergic to sick people.
Why don't you go see Arnie?
I tried, but he's booked solid for the next 3 weeks.
I'd like to propose a toast to Ms. Rose Samuel.
Here, here.
Wait, hold it. I have a toast of my own.
Counsel has a speech.
Oh, silence in the
Quiet.
I I can't celebrate my divorce. That's the end of something. So I raise my glass to a new beginning.
Here, here.
Oh. Well, Rose, now it's just you, 3 grown children, and the statute of frauds.